Big Pick 4 is back after being out for a week, leading up to our Super Bowl party, Super Bowl show, where we always pick the winning Super Bowl team. What are we, 5-5 now?
I believe so.
Yep. So we're down to what do we call this? The division round? Is that what we're calling it?
Yep, it's the divisional round.
Division round, leading to the conference championship and why do they put the Pro Bowl? I guess because they can't use the word Super Bowl without getting sued.
Well, no, the Pro Bowl is actually before the Super Bowl.
Oh, so I wonder why they don't. Oh, that is a Pro Bowl. Okay. I guess they didn't have the Super Bowl up on the board yet, so they left it off the.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll call Pro Football Championship because they can't say Super Bowl.
Yeah, the sports guys at the DC talk show, when they had their Super Bowl party, they would say it backwards, so they would call it the Uber Seobe party.
That's pretty creative.
So we're each, being that this is the division round with 4 games each, we're going to do our same format. We're going to do the Big O, the Big B, the Big D, the Big B, and the combined pick, correct?
Yes.
So your Big O pick for the division round is the Green Bay Packers plus 7.5 at Arizona. I think we are really underestimating the Packers. How did they do last week as far as a big win? Did they play well? 35, they blew out Washington, yeah. So in that game last week, who was favored?
Washington.
Washington was actually favored, right? So here we go again. With Arizona favored, right?
Yeah.
I think Green Bay's healthy. Their quarterback's healthy. He's been there and done that. He's won a Super Bowl. So at this late in the game, I don't think, I think experience rules. What's up with the Cardinals?
Well, honestly, Green Bay lost their probably second best receiver. He's out. They put a tight end in IR last week. So they're missing 2 guys. Arizona's okay. Their quarterback, Carson Palmer, has more experience than Aaron Rodgers.
What about Super Bowl?
No, never came even close.
Right, so.
Arizona's healthy. They had a week off. But it's not even that. It's just generally speaking, these revenge games tend to be closer than the predecessor. Like, look at the Seattle-Minnesota game. Seattle destroyed Minnesota the first time they played, 38-7, and then it was a 10-9 game. Arizona destroyed the Packers, 38-8. So you would expect this to be a closer game if it follows form. I'm not saying the Packers are going to win, but I do believe that this will be a closer game than the original.
Does Arizona have their own stadium? Are they sharing with the college team? What are they doing?
Where do they play?
Yeah, where do they play?
They play in University of Phoenix Stadium. They built it like 8 years ago.
That's what I thought. They play at a university stadium.
No, it's just the name of the stadium. It's their stadium. They used to play at Sun Devil Stadium, where the University of Arizona plays.
Oh, okay.
They moved out of there about 8 or 9 years ago, and they went into their own stadium, which is a beautiful domed stadium where the field actually can be is on a belt, so they can bring it out into the sun. So it can be the grass can grow, and they can just move it back into the stadium. And also it means they can have other stuff in there too. They can have monster truck rallies and conventions and whatever in there because there's just a floor underneath the grass. They can just roll it out onto the outside.
So, but is there a university team that plays there too?
No, nobody plays there. The only game they play, the Cardinals play there. They play the what do you call it? The Fiesta Bowl there, and they just played the College National Championship game there.
Wow. So the Big D is would pick Green Bay as well, coming in, with a +7 and a hook. So there's your pick for, this will be the Packers at the Cardinals at 8 p.m. today. So I will be collecting my money today. If you'd like to bet against me, you may do so at betsides.com. You go down to your local bank and follow the instructions on how to get Bitcoin. But I will be there. I will take all opposing action. Who wants to pick the Cardinals? The Cardinals have won a Super Bowl.
No.
They were in a Super Bowl.
Yes, they've only been in one and they lost.
That's more than the Lions can say.
I'm going to say they've only made the playoffs like 10 or 11 times in their entire history as a franchise.
Wow. And they've been the Arizona longer. No, they were still St. Louis longer than they've been Arizona Cardinals, right?
It's getting close at this point. They were in St. Louis for maybe 34, 35 years, something like that. And they've been in...
I didn't have time to make coffee, so finishing the beer from yesterday.
That's a nice way to wake yourself up in the morning. Huh.
Some nice Florida cracker.
Oh, nice.
Tampa beer.
You know, my folks aren't too far from you. They're in Sarasota.
What are they doing?
They're hanging out with my grandmother. They've been there for a couple weeks. Then they're going to the wonderful country of Colombia on Wednesday, I think.
I'm sorry. Do you have your ransom money ready?
Yeah, I know. I wish I'd won that Powerball so I had the ransom money.
Yeah. You're going to need it.
Yeah, right. To sell everything.
They're gonna send you. They're gonna let you Skype into them and talk to them, just to see that they're okay. Why, for God's sake, would they want to go to Colombia?
Supposedly it's a tourist destination now. They have cheap tours. You go there for a week, and you know there's groups. They take you around. They show you everything.
Yeah, they show you the jungle with a bag over your head.
Yeah, right. And then Pablo Escobar Jr. comes out of the woodwork and takes your foot.
A guy with a big, thick, black mustache comes out and demands a ransom.
That's right. One of El Chapo's henchmen.
Mm-hmm. Big Danny D guarantee for the division playoff round.
All right, my pick this week. I'm going the game Pittsburgh at Denver. Weather should not be an issue. Should be pretty decent out there. Unlike that Minnesota-Seattle game, which was just ridiculous how cold that was. Denver is favored by 7.5. I'm taking Denver. Pittsburgh's too hurt. They have too many injured guys. Antonio Brown's not going to play. Roethlisberger's going to try to play, but I don't know how effective he's going to be. Antonio Brown had the second or third best season ever for a receiver in the history of the league this year, and to lose a guy like that, it really hurts. And Pittsburgh's defense isn't that great. And also, this is a revenge game for the Broncos, who got beat up by Pittsburgh when they went in there about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and Pittsburgh really beat the hell out of them. But Pittsburgh doesn't have D'Angelo Williams. He's out. He's a top running back. Actually, they're the first team in NFL history to go to a playoff game without their leading receiver and leading rusher. They're missing both those guys. The only thing that makes me hesitant is that Peyton Manning has a terrible, terrible, terrible record in playoff openers.
Is he starting?
Yeah, he's starting. He's lost 9 playoff openers in 13 chances, which is terrible. And Ben Roethlisberger's 4-1 on the road in the playoffs, which is excellent. So that's the only thing that bothers me. But
What's their trigger finger for removing Peyton? Are they going to watch him, and as soon as he starts showing a weakness, they're going to pull him?
who? Manning?
Yeah.
No, I mean I think he should be all right because he had a week off. They didn't play last week, so he should be okay with 2 full weeks off before they actually have to go out there.
So the last game Denver won, Peyton Manning started.
No, he came in relief.
Oh, so now he's starting.
Now he's starting. I think he'll be at full strength now. Moving forward, if they win, have to play next week. I think that would be a different issue going into next week because I'm not sure he can play back-to-back weeks.
So what about the Denver backup quarterback? Is he healthy?
Yeah, he's fine. He's ready to go if they need him. Osweiler.
He played probably at least, he started like half the games this season, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And Denver also has a top 2 defense in the league. Their defense was tremendous this season.
So they basically had 2 starting quarterbacks in a sense.
Yeah. But the only reason I would take them is only because of the week off. If they had to play last week going into this week, I think it would be more of a problem. Because Manning just doesn't have the strength that he used to. Something's wrong with him. His neck surgery, I think, is finally starting to catch up to him. And he just doesn't have the strength to play back-to-back weeks, just week after week after week. But having the week off really benefits him. So he should be at full strength for the game tomorrow.
So you predict that by the second half, the Steelers coach will be on the field tripping players?
That's right. He'll be out there tripping players, sending coaches out to fight the other team, like last week. They had 2 coaches get fined $10,000 for starting fights. It's pretty funny stuff.
They're like the scrappy dogs coming to town, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, they need to kind of do that. They're a wounded animal. You know, they don't have all their horses, and they can have to do what they have to do.
That's a huge cover, though. 7 and a hook for a playoff game, division round.
Well, as I said, Pittsburgh's defense is middle of the road at best, and they're without their leading receiver and without their leading rusher, and that's tough.
So the defense is going to be on the field a lot. I mean, who's Roethlisberger have to throw to?
Martavis Bryant and Marcus Wheaton, but they're no Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown had a season for the ages, and you know he's out this week, and it really hurts.
Should they go to the next round, he would be back though.
Maybe not. He has a concussion. I don't know. I mean, he got a bad thing. That'll be part of my you for real. But he got a really bad concussion at the end of the game last week.
Oh. All right. So Danny D is taking your Denver Broncos covering 7 and a hook at home via the Steelers, the scrappy dogs.
It's actually a funny story. He said he was too lazy to walk home yesterday from the train station, so he got a cab.
This was after a party and all that?
No, this is yesterday. He was too lazy to walk home.
After work?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was too lazy to walk home, and he took a cab, and the cab driver told him that the local bar next to him is having all-you-can-eat crab legs night. So he went there to eat crab legs and drink.
The cabbie was getting a cut on that action. It's like, everyone we can bring in the door, we'll give you $5.
Yeah, right.
So he was eating crab legs and drinking. So that's why he couldn't do the show yesterday?
Yeah.
So I saw the Boo Roo last weekend at the brother 50th birthday party. I cut him and my brother-in-law off about 60 seconds or maybe 2 minutes into their rendition of Johnny Cash. What's that Johnny Cash song? Flame, Ring of Fire. They were about 2 minutes into it, and I cut their mics. They were reading the lines monotone off the screen, both standing there reading like they were reading poetry. So I cut their mics. My sister's husband told me I'm mean-spirited, and he doesn't know if he feels like partying anymore. And then Brian tried to explain to me how it's fun for other people to listen to people who can't sing try to sing. And I told him, no, that's not fun for other people. Again, I will cut you off again. And then he ended up at the end of the night, he went downstairs. His bedding consisted of 2 beanbag chairs. So he had one beanbag chair as a pillow and the other beanbag chair as a blanket. And when we went down in the morning, all we saw was a beanbag chair with 2 legs sticking out of the bottom of it. That was Brian. And then he came up, he woke up and he said he had gotten cold, so he kept cranking up the space heater that was down there. And it kept him warm because he cranked the space heater all the way up. And then my brother told him it was a dehumidifier. He thought it was a space heater. So we went down in the morning, and the dehumidifier was cranked all the way up to the top, and Brian thought he was cranking up a space heater. And it made him feel warm.
What a jackass. Oh, that's typical Brian.
He's like on the floor under a beanbag chair with a dehumidifier cranked all the way up, thinking it's a space heater.
Oh my god.
That's classic Buru.
Yes, it is.
And then he was in full form last night at the Crab Shack. In sight. Who would have eaten more, Brian or Oprah? Yeah, that's a tough call.
Wow, that's a tough one. I don't know. That woman can really eat. Man, I don't know.
We gotta have them as a Nathan's hot dogs eating contest, like what do you call it? Like a undercard event for the annual eating contest. Brian and Oprah.
See, I think Oprah would win. Because after she's done eating all the hot dogs, then she'll eat him too.
Corey, so what is the Buru B guarantee for division round?
Alright, I believe the Buru won his pick last week, didn't he?
Did he really?
No, did he?
I did, no.
No, he didn't. I'm sorry. You did.
Yeah.
No, the Buru's taking a mulligan from last week. It's a total mistake. He won't do it again. He'll put himself in a better position to make a better pick this week. The big Buru is taking Kansas City at New England. Kansas City +5. He believes that this will be a close game and that Kansas City has a chance to win. Two of Kansas City's best players, Justin Houston and Jeremy Maclin, are both game-time decisions today, but they're probably both going to play. New England's really banged up. A lot of guys are hurt. Gronkowski's hurt. Brady's hurt. They had Chandler Jones, the defensive end, was at a police station on Sunday because he got sick taking when he had a bad reaction to synthetic marijuana that he took at somebody's house. A lot of crazy stuff. But Tom Brady is 14-3 at home, I think, in the playoffs. So that's a little scary. But
just a sidebar, that cover just went down to 4.5.
All right. But still, I mean, it's moving into Kansas City's way here. Yeah, I think this will be a good game. I'm not sure Kansas City's going to win, but they'll keep it close. I mean, they have Andy Reid, who has a lot of playoff experience in his day from all the times he made with the Eagles. Now, the second time he's made it with the Chiefs. So he knows what he's doing. They really need Maclin to play. Otherwise, I think they have a bit of a problem. Their defense is good. Their defense has been great. And Kansas City has won 11 games in a row going back to the regular season. So they're a hot team. And their defense has been great. Now, granted, they played a lot of crap. They played a lot of terrible teams second half of the season, and even Houston wasn't great. Brian Hoyer had one of the worst playoff performances ever last week. That was awful. And he had 5 turnovers by himself. So I wouldn't expect that from the Patriots. So the Patriots have been a little shaky lately. They had their worst 6-game stretch to end the season since Belichick took over. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But I think New England could win, but it wouldn't be shocking if Kansas City does. And I expect a close game. I think Kansas City will cover.
What's the status of Kansas City's quarterback with playoff experience?
He's never won 2 playoff games in a row. It's Alex Smith. He made it a couple times in San Francisco and once with Kansas City. And with San Francisco, they won their initial game once or twice. But he lost the second game each time. And then the last time they made the playoffs 2 years ago, they had like a 35-14 lead against the Colts, and they blew the game and they lost. in the first round, so they never made it to a second game.
So he's been to what, like 3, 4 playoff games?
Something like that, 4 or 5, something like that.
Obviously, never been in a Super Bowl.
No, and Brady, as a side note, will set an NFL record for most playoff games played by an individual. He'll be his 30th playoff game today. Yeah. He's breaking a tie with Adam Vinatieri and Jerry Rice.
Wow. So then he'll have the record one more game.
Yeah.
So that if they win, then he'll have the most playoff games of any player in history.
Well, no, if he just plays today, he will.
No, then he'll be tied.
No, he'll have the record today.
Oh, he'll have the record today. Oh, he's tied now.
He's tied now.
Oh, so he'll have the record today. Wow.
Yeah, the record's 29. Today he'll be playing his 30th.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is. This shows the success of the Patriots.
How many? He's been in what? 4 Super Bowls or something?
6.
6. Holy shit.
And he's won 4 of them. He's tied a record with Mike Lodish, I think his name is. He's a defensive lineman who played in 6 Super Bowls. So those two got to play the most Super Bowls.
So if he gets to another Super Bowl, he'll have the record for Super Bowls, right?
Yes, it'll be a 7th Super Bowl. And if he wins, he'll break a record for most Super Bowl victories by a quarterback. He's tied with Terry Bradshaw and Joe Montana with 4 each.
I think he needs to go out and bet on football now, so he can't be in the Hall of Fame. That'd be awesome.
I don't think he's going to do that.
So you're picking Kansas City, maybe not to win, but they're going to come in under the 4 and a hook now. This is the final pick for Big Pick 4 of your divisional round. We tend to heat up here at Big Pick 4 during the playoff run, especially as you get closer to the Super Bowl. So let's have the final pick.
All right, the Pesky-esky combined pick
Pesky-eskin Stone Cold Mortal Lock
is Seattle at Carolina. As of yesterday, the spread was 1.5 for Carolina, I believe, -1.5.
That's a -2 now.
All right, -2 now. So we are taking Seattle +2 for this. Seattle's playing on borrowed time here. They should have lost last week in that brutal weather game that they played in, where there was like -10 for the temperature. It was ridiculous. It was just
Minnesota Stadium.
it was ridiculous. People were frozen in the stadium. They're still melting the people out of the seats. And it's a week ago. What was his name? Richard Sherman said after the game that there's no way you could possibly prepare for conditions like that. There's just nothing you can do to simulate that. And it's true. Unless you live up there, there's no way you can simulate that. So, but anyway, Seattle has been great the last 11 weeks of the season. They're 9-2 or something, including the playoffs. Carolina, they're interesting. I know they went 15-1, and I know Cam Newton's probably going to be the MVP. But this is a revenge game again for Seattle. They beat up Seattle in Seattle. They came back in the fourth quarter and beat them. Now, Seattle has problems covering a tight end, and Greg Olsen is the best receiver that Carolina has. So there might be some issues there. But the other guys on the outside really aren't that great. And Carolina's defense hasn't been good the last 4 weeks of the season. They give up a lot of points. They give up over 30 points 3 times, I think, the last 5 weeks of the season, which is not good. So I really think Seattle can go in here and win this game outright. And then hopefully face Arizona next week in a triple revenge game. But that would be something. I think they can go in there. I think they can. Their defense is doing great. I think they can stop the run. They did a great job on Adrian Peterson last week. And they have good enough outside guys that can shut down the passing game. And Russell Wilson's been fantastic. And I think he's going to be able to do some things against the Carolina defense.
And I work with the USF coach, Willie Taggart's sister, and she said Carolina's not going to win. Willie Taggart's sister said Carolina's not going to win.
Is she like the Mason Kreskin or something?
He knows her shit.
Okay.
For that reason alone, I might go that way, because She called a couple this season that I was against, and she was right. So
Hey, maybe we should have her on the show.
yeah, next season we should have her as our.
Yeah, big pick 5. She could be the other pick.
Or we could boot the pesky Eskin, and it could be Willie Taggart's sister's pick.
Yeah, that works. And you can announce the pick every week.
Yeah, she was up until last year. She was a quarterback in one of the women's leagues. Tough nut. What do you call it? Tough cookie.
She wasn't in that bikini league, was she?
No, she was in like legit flag football women's league for Tampa.
No, they have a women's professional football league, but they wear pads and everything, but they also wear bikinis.
See, that's perfect. That's perfect. I agree. No, but she was in a straight up women's league. It wasn't like the lingerie or the bikini or anything. I don't think. I have to follow up on that. So we're picking Seattle they're a +2, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they're a +2 at Carolina. But the betting money right now is going on Carolina, obviously, when it usually does go on the favorite. But at a 69%. So as far as the money indicators I'm looking at right now, the strongest indicator is a Carolina pick. 69. The next strongest pick is a Denver at 68%, and then followed by Arizona. So,
All right.
division round U for Real will be presented by Big Daddy D.
All right, my U for real is that entire debacle at the end of that Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game last week. The officials had no control over the entire game. That was just ridiculous. The officiating, once again, has been brutal this season, and it just proved itself again. There's been chippiness the whole game. Various incidents occurring throughout the game that should have been squashed if they had just thrown somebody out, maybe, to penalize the team. These 15-yard penalties aren't enough to stop the shenanigans from occurring and these incidents from occurring. Early in the game, he had a play where the Cincinnati safety hit a guy and pushed him out of bounds, and then he ran into one of the Pittsburgh coaches who decided to give him a push, even though he didn't even do anything. It was totally inadvertent, and then they started pushing each other, and that was ridiculous. And the officials really didn't do anything about that. And then late in the game, Vontaze Burfict, the linebacker for the Bengals, he catches an interception, and then him and half his teammates start running up the tunnel in celebration as if the game is over. And there's still like 5 minutes left. Or whatever, it's 3 minutes left. That was ridiculous. They should have been flagged for that, for a group celebration. And they weren't flagged for that. And then, on the next play, Cincinnati fumbles the ball. And Pittsburgh gets the ball back anyway. And all these clowns have to come back onto the field again. And then, to make the cherry on top of the whole thing here, is Pittsburgh goes down the field. Roethlisberger's hurt. He can't throw the ball more than maybe 15 yards, 20 yards down the field because his shoulder's bad. They throw a pass down the middle to Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, they can't catch the ball. The ball goes right past him, and he takes and then Vontaze Burfict comes in like a freight train. He takes at least 6 steps and then slams right into Antonio Brown's head with his shoulder and knocks him out. And of course, that's going to be a flag because that was an intentional hit, and he should have been thrown out for that, and he wasn't. But that was a 15-yard penalty. So Pittsburgh went from like the 50 to the 35, and then in the ensuing melee, everyone's out in the field. The trainers and everyone come out, and an assistant coach, former linebacker for the Steelers, Joey Porter, comes out, and he starts some shit with some guys on the Bengals. So one guy on the Bengals, Pac-Man Jones, remember him, the guy who used to make it rain at strip clubs? They get into it, and in his haste to try to get towards Joey Porter, Pac-Man Jones pushes an official out of the way. And because he should have been thrown out for that, you're not allowed to touch an official. So that's another 15-yard penalty on top of that they got. So Pittsburgh ends up kicking a 35-yard field goal after 30 yards of penalties on the Bengals to win the game with like 9 seconds left. It was ridiculous. I mean, the whole thing was ridiculous. And then, on top after that, a couple of days later, Vontaze Burfict is suspended for the first 3 games of next season for that hit because of the accumulation of different things he's done. Week 17, he put a hit on a guy for the Ravens that cost him a $50,000 fine because the hit was so ridiculous. The league finally had enough and gave him a 3-game suspension. But the officials, it goes back to what you're saying about the officiating, and just the poor quality of officiating to allow something to degenerate like that is just incredible. I mean, you talk about college.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah, you talk about college all the time. The terrible officiating, they miss touchdowns, they make ridiculous calls. It's the same thing here. How do you need the league needs to tell the officials, if you have to throw somebody out of the game. If you can stop this stuff, it's not fighting. It's football.
It's not hockey.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have all this. You're not supposed to have these. They almost had a bench clearing brawl in the middle of the fourth quarter. You can't have that. It's an embarrassment.
You see, they should have made Vince McMahon the commissioner, and this shit wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't have happened. He would have encouraged it. He would have had chairs out in the field so they could hit each other. And tables and whatever, baseball bats. The announcers during the game were just killing what was going on. They were killing the Bengals.
Who was calling the game?
It was Jim Nantz and Phil Simms.
You mean we couldn't find Chris Collinsworth for this one?
No, they sent him and Al Michaels to the Tundra. They did that game last week.
God.
Al Michaels was going nuts. He's like, well, we're here at Ice Station Zebra.
So clever. So clever, Al.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
He was not happy. He was like, why the hell are we here? I think he was making fun of the guys in Washington because it was warm here last weekend. It was like in the low 60s last Sunday. And he was like, well, how about those guys in Washington? Oh, doing it tonight, so it really shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, Al's back in the geriatric weather tonight.
Yeah.
To make him happy.
Yeah, he's going to be happy. Plus, it's inside anyway, so he's good.
I mean, he's only like 80 years old, right?
I think he's like 72.
Yeah. Might as well be 80 once you get that age.
Yeah, right. It's a big difference.
72 is the new 80.
According to Al Michaels, maybe.
So the recap is the first game, KC at New England. New England favored at a 4.5. Whose pick is that? Is that the
Buru?
That's the Buru's pick.
Yeah.
Picking KC.
Mm.
The second pick is Arizona at home, covering 7.5. Hook. Your Big O is picking the Green Bay. The next game is Seattle at Carolina. Carolina covering 2. The Pesky-esque Stone Cold Morlock is picking Seattle. Another Pete Carroll victory as the underdog. The last game is 4:40 p.m. on Sunday. Your Big Danny D is picking the Denver Mannings to defeat the Steelers after pulling a win out of their ass last week. But this is a huge cover at 7.5. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, that's what I've got to mention before. Brian is going with his gut for his pick. It's a gut pick.
Oh, it's a gut pick. Okay.
Yeah, it's a gut pick. I'd go for some good games. The games were good last weekend. For the most part, except for that Washington-Green Bay game. That was just a debacle. Fortunately, weather will not be a problem, so you should get some nice, clean games. There might be a little rain in New England tonight, but I don't think that's a big deal. I think the AFC games should be really good.
So there's no weather that's going to affect any passing here?
No, not really, no.
Are they all uncovered stadium? No one's playing in a dome?
Arizona's inside, but the other ones are all outdoors.
Okay, Arizona is inside. Okay.
Yeah.
But the weather wouldn't be a factor there anyway, most likely.
Most likely not, no. But they can just close the roof, so it wouldn't make a difference.
So, pretty much a common theme. The Buru is taking a gut pick coming off of a mulligan. So he should be up. What time's the first game start today?
4:30, I guess. 4:35 is kickoff for game 1.
He might be awake by then.
Yeah, maybe.
He'll probably roll out of bed at like 4 p.m. in order a calzone for delivery,
That's right.
and he'll be ready for the game.
That's right.
at 4:30.
He wouldn't even have to get dressed. That way he can get the calzone over himself.
He'll be sitting there eating a calzone in his underwear.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that sight if you're the delivery boy?
Oh, that poor guy.
You're hoping for a hot chick to answer the door, and here's Brian in his underwear.
Ah, yeah, that poor guy. Yeah, I would.
No tip, calzone delivery.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. He did that once. He got a free meal at Applebee's because if you like, it used to be have this card where you get like if you go there for like 10 times, you get the 10th meal was free. And he said that because the meal was free, that the waitress shouldn't get a tip because 0 times 0 is 0.
The man rules. The big B man rules. I love it.
It was so stupid.
0 times 0 is 0.
Yeah, instead of leaving it like $5 because you didn't have to pay anyway.
20% of $0 is actually 0. As a matter of fact. Well,
Yeah, but come on, it's like what a cheap bastard.
that's the buru. That's the buru math.
Yes, Buru man.
So we'll be back for the championship round. Is that what they call it next week?
Yep, and we can do the show Friday or Saturday next week because the games aren't until Sunday.
The conference championship round.
Yeah.
And as always,
Score, Big Pick 4.
so your parents are going to be here all day?
No, they're down there. They're going to be there till Wednesday or Thursday.
Damn.
Before they go to Miami, and then they fly from Miami to Columbia.